लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि कंसल्टिंग क्या होती है, राइट?
Very true.
पीपल थिंक कि ये कौन होते हैं हमें हमारा बिजनेस सिखाने वाले, राइट? लेट्स हियर इट फ्रॉम यू, व्हाट डू मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट्स डू?
There is one incident like when I met one of the company owner having company turnover around 500 CR. So I was like, તમારું turnover કેટલું છે? I said my turnover. He was like, do you think કે તમારા આટલા turnover થી તમે મને 500 કરોડની કંપનીને ગ્રો કરવામાં હેલ્પ કરશો? So as a management consultant, we first identify the gaps in the business. What are the challenges they have in their business? We not only guide them, we make sure that you get out from the operational challenges and you focus on to the expansion of the business, diversification of the business.
What are some important data points that a business owner should know?
So first and foremost thing, the biggest data any business owner need to work is their ROI.
कि जो पैसे उधार पे है, right? What's the best solution you tend to provide to your clients?
Project just start हुआ है एंड कंपनी ओनर इज लाइक बाकी सारा काम बाद में करते हैं, सेल्स भले बाद में आएगा चलेगा, मेरे को मेरा अकाउंट रिसीवेबल स्ट्रॉन्ग करना है. देयर आर 4 काइंड ऑफ क्लाइंट्स.
ओके.
हाई टिकट क्लाइंट, उनका ना तो पेमेंट के लिए झिकझिक होगा, ना उनका कोई प्रोडक्ट के लिए कभी कंप्लेन होगा. एक होता है चीप क्लाइंट जो हमेशा आपको प्रॉब्लम ही करता है, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम दी नेगोशिएशन, फिर सर्विस के लिए हमेशा कंप्लेन रहेगी. वन इज सोफिस्टिकेटेड क्लाइंट जो रिजनेबल रेट आप जो दे रहे हो उसी रेट पे नेगोशिएट करके क्लोज करेंगे. वी ऑल आर स्टक इनटू द चीप क्लाइंट. कि जो कंप्लेन वाले क्लाइंट होते हैं ना वो हमारे सबसे ज्यादा होते हैं. सो वी हैव टू टर्न दैट रेशियो टुवर्ड्स सोफिस्टिकेटेड एंड हाई टिकट क्लाइंट. वो अगर हो गया तो बिजनेस इज इन राइट ट्रैक.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are joined by Mr. Harshal Banker, who is a management consultant and also happens to be my former boss. So it is going to be a really interesting conversation where we will discuss about the industry, how to make a career in it, and some business advice. Hello Harshal, how are you?
Hello Dhruvin, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great, and thank you so much for taking out this time. I realized one thing while scheduling this podcast, you are a very busy man since it has been almost I don't know, rescheduled 4 or 5 times, but
True.
I'm really happy we are finally doing this. And Harshal, एक चीज है that in the tenure that we used to work together, I got to know you really well and I respect you a lot, right? But this conversation, this 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes conversation, I'm going to know you much more in deeper.
Right.
And the insights, maybe even in that tenure, I did not get to know, right? So, Harshal, I know a bit about your background. Okay, how did you start? आपने start कैसे किया था and what motivated you? You have a very interesting journey where I think you wanted to go into army or defense.
True.
Right. So let's get to know that a bit in brief, your background and your story.
So like when I was in my school time, like I appeared for one of the army exam when I was in 8th standard. तब से like I was motivated to join army, but somehow like I couldn't complete that dream. But yes, I joined Indian Air Force just after my 10th while pursuing diploma as an airman. But when I joined Indian Air Force, I realized that this is not the dream I dreamt of. So in between, I left the Air Force. Then I again continued my journey into the diploma mechanical. Then I did my BTech in mechanical. But again, वो जो सपना था वो पूरा करना था कि डिफेंस फोर्सेस में जाना है. So after my graduation, I again appeared for CDS, and I cleared that fortunately and joined Indian Coast Guard. But again, that time I was pursuing my masters into management, business management from the Narsi Monji. After that, I joined Indian Coast Guard, but again, destiny was something else. So during the training, I had some injury, and because of that, I had to take the discharge from the Indian Coast Guard services. Yes, वो journey पूरी नहीं हो पाई somehow. And if I talk about getting into the business, so जब मैंने इंडियन कोस्ट गार्ड छोड़ा, so I was like अब क्या किया जाए. So I like planned for the Canada education, but again वहाँ पर भी it was not meant to be, so वो visa refusal आया. Then I went to Dubai for job purpose. वहाँ जाके मैंने जॉब ढूंढना स्टार्ट किया, and I got one breakthrough in that. I got the job in one of the courier company. I worked there for a year, and after that I started my own business. Like again, जो destiny में लिखा होता है, I firmly believe that you will get that.
Yeah.
So before going there, एक चीज दिमाग में थी, being a गुजराती,
Yeah.
coming from the गुजराती family,
Yeah.
कि बिजनेस ही करना है लाइफ में। तो प्लान था कि 1 साल में बिजनेस खुद से स्टार्ट करना है। कैसे करना है वो भी प्लान किया था, बट समहाउ वो चीजें हो नहीं पाई इन दी बिजी स्केड्यूल ऑफ द जॉब। बट लकीली आई गॉट द इन्वेस्टर,
Okay.
and that is again from the defense background. That time he was defense secretary of India.
Okay.
So I started my own business into IT enterprise solution, which was into like interactive kiosk, digital signages, video
Yeah.
walls. So I started my own company within a year. जो प्लान किया था वो somehow जिस तरीके से प्लान किया था वैसे नहीं हुआ, but yes, I was able to start my business in Dubai. That's how like I started my entrepreneur journey.
Okay. Then how, like the this business of kiosk and like interactive marketing, I believe. So this was in Dubai, right?
Yes.
Then what made you think, let's leave this, let's stop this, come back to India, start consulting?
So like that business was going quite well. We were dealing with most of the government entity in Dubai, like the Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi Police, then President office. But somehow my mom and dad were not keeping well.
Okay.
And जब भी उनकी कोई health issue होती थी, I wasn't able to come back to India, like government meetings and all. So I realized कि ये just the starting of the career है। अगर अभी मैं इतना busy रह रहा हूँ, and if I'll plan to expand my business, so probably this will be a problem forever. So let me go back to India and start working in India.
Must have been a tough decision.
Yes, it was very tough because like I gave my 3 years into that business, and we were like market leaders in Dubai.
Okay.
So yes, एक खुद का बेबी को बड़ा करने के बाद उसे छोड़ देना is like toughest decision.
Yeah. So when you came back to India, ऐसे दिमाग में था कि इधर भी कुछ सेम करना है या डिफरेंट करना है?
So I knew कि same business तो इंडिया में नहीं हो पाएगा, because of the technology adoption in India is not that great like Middle East. So it was tough decision कि इंडिया जाके क्या किया जाए. It cannot be normal like IT company like web development and software development, because that is very competitive market, and I did not want to go into the competitive market.
So yeah, so like as you said, you did not want to get into competition. How did this thought came, consulting?
So when I came back to India, I was like going through some market analysis, like which is the best industry to get into, and somehow I called my first boss, like the owner of the courier company.
Yeah.
I called him and I asked, sir, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या किया जाए.
Yeah.
So he gave me the opportunity. Like he was planning to expand into European countries and African region. So he's like, hey, I'll be keep on traveling in Europe and Africa. So if you can help me in like handling my team in Dubai remotely, so that could be a great help. So it was kind of the first assignment as a management consultant,
Okay.
which I got from my first employer. And that's how like that clicked me. Yes, this is something interesting.
Yeah.
And this actually gave me like good passion or the thing I really love to do. So that's how I started my journey as a management consultant.
That's amazing. So first project you got from your first boss.
Yes.
That's absolutely amazing. So when did you think, okay, this is something I like, let me turn into a company?
So when I started that project, so I involved myself as like kind of a CEO for that company. And day in day out I was like trying that how I can improve the ROI and how I can materialize more profitability for the company. So one odd day, like I was out for the vacation, and I was just going through the journey of my first quarter as a consultant. So I was like, yes, this is something I can actually do, and this is what I love to do. So I got the so I firmly believe that when you are starting any business, you need to clear the why. Okay. Why you want to do this?
True.
And I got the answer why I can be a good management consultant and why I can start this business. So that's how I planned. Like, let me the way I am helping him, let me try to build my own business into the management consulting industry. Then I did quite good research on the industry, like how Indian market is playing right now, because that time I was doing it for Middle East. So I was having no idea about the Indian industry. So I try to do research on Indian market, like how businesses are working, how management consulting industry is working. And I realized there is a big gap into the Indian industry, particularly in the SME and MSME sector, wherein people are doing business, but not the way it should be. So that gave me the idea that I really can work into this industry.
So, like, as you said, you found a gap, right? I truly believe there is still a very big gap to be covered for consulting. बट एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम मैंने ऐसे देखी है कि लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि कंसल्टिंग क्या होती है, राइट?
Very true.
पीपल थिंक कि ये कौन होते हैं हमें हमारा बिजनेस सिखाने वाले, right?
True that.
When I used to work with you and I used to tell people I'm like working in a management consulting firm, they used to always ask, "What do you do?" I'm like, "We tell people how to run business." So a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions about management consulting. Let's hear it from you. What do management consultants do? So,
Like, I'll totally agree on your point. Like, there is many misconceptions, and I also like felt during my journey that, in fact, there is one incident like when I met one of the company owner who is like having company turnover around 500 CR. So I went to meet him, and I was trying to understand what are their challenges. So I was like, "Tamaru turnover કેટલું છે?" I said my turnover. He's like, "Do you think કે તમારા આટલા turnover થી તમે મને 500 કરોડની કંપનીને ગ્રો કરવામાં હેલ્પ કરશો?" Correct. I was like, "Yes, certainly, yes." So I was like, "You are not even like half of my turnover, and you will be able to help me build a more bigger empire." I was like, "Yes, because you are stuck at 500 CR, and you do not have any idea how to grow it from 500 to 1000 CR. But we being an experience into the different industry, different education background, we have the external consultant as well who actually help to build a better strategy in that particular industry. So I'll give you the exact answer, like what management consultant does. So as a management consultant, we first identify the gaps in the business. What are the challenges they have in their business? And we not only guide them, because as you are also business owner now, yeah, right? You know better answer for your challenges than us, because you have your father who is into the industry since many years. He have probably faced all sort of challenges in True. His journey, and he knows most of the answer as well, how they can recover or solve this problem. But the biggest challenge is execution. Probably you can start working on XYZ strategy, but you cannot do that for the longer period. What we firmly believe that consistency is the key to success. Very true. Right? And most of the business owners are getting failed into the consistency because of the routine operational challenges. You probably start one thing, and you are working on that thing for a week, 10 days, 15 days, and then you have some firefighting, yeah, in your operation, and you stop that. Correct. Because that time your priority shifted from X to Y. So as a management consultant, we make sure that those things are into the repeat model, and it should be implemented within the time frame. So your as a business owner, we make sure that you get out the from the operational challenges, and you focus on to the expansion of the business, diversification of the business. And that's very important कि जब एक external force आता है, right? They help you stay on the line, being consistent, and that's why I feel management consultants can really help businesses grow, right? True. And talking about consulting, I think major value addition comes into data analysis part, right? Very true. A lot of business owners don't know their own financials, right? Very true. What is their profitability, what's their margins, and even the other stats like what's their churn rate, what's their, like, everything that refers to their businesses, right? So this data part, right, like, how do you help business owners getting to know their data points, and what are some important data points that a business owner should know? So first and foremost thing, the biggest data any business owner need to work is their ROI. Okay. So I'll give you one of the case study. We started one project during the COVID, and very first month their like production got stuck for 20 days because of the COVID. Okay. And when we so what we do the PNL for every month, and we work on the ROI as well. So about the entire year ROI, it was 33%.
Hmm.
But that particular month when we started the project, they were in a loss of 20 lakhs.
Okay.
एंड प्रॉबली जब एंड ऑफ द ईयर हमने उनसे डिस्कस किया कि आपको पता है अप्रैल में आपने 20 लाख का लॉस किया था, इट्स लाइक नहीं हो सकता है, हम तो घर पे 1.25 करोड़ लेके गए, तो 20 लाख का लॉस कैसे हो सकता है? देन वी एक्सप्लेन कि आप पूरे साल का P&L ड्राइव करते हो, जबकि आपको मंथ ऑन मंथ ड्राइव करना चाहिए. सेम वे इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द ROI, मेजरली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जो सबसे बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है दैट इज प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी हमें ड्राइव करनी है. दे आर वर्किंग ऑन दी 40-50% ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट, कि 40-50% प्रॉफिट तो चाहिए ही चाहिए. दैट टाइम दे डू नॉट रियलाइज कि 40-50% मार्जिन के चक्कर में उनका बिजनेस साइकिल इतना लंबा हो जाता है कि वेर इन देयर ROI इज लेस देन 10%. सो वो उनको एक सबसे बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन होता है. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट अगेन दी डेटा पॉइंट, सो मोस्ट ऑफ द बिजनेस ओनर डू नॉट हैव एनी आइडिया कि उनका अकाउंट रिसीवेबल कितना कहाँ पर है, विद what is the aging. They again work on the biggest account receivable, not onto the aging part. तो काफी बार ये होता है कि लेट्स से 25-50 हजार के बहुत सारे पेमेंट मार्केट में फंसे हुए हैं, जो उनको पता ही नहीं है. उनको ये याद है यहाँ से 10 लाख लेना है, यहाँ से 20 लाख लेना है. बट अगर जो छोटी अमाउंट फंसी हुई है उसका अगर क्यूमुलेटिव देखने जाते हो विच इज मोर देन 6 मंथ, तो प्रोबेबली इट इज मोर देन 10 लाख रुपीज. सो वो ध्यान में नहीं आता है. Then again, most of the SME business owner, they are working towards just inbound inquiries.
Very true.
And again, उसमें भी कहीं पे भी they are not using any technology. They are not punching it into any CRM, not even on Excel. So analysis वहाँ पर हो ही नहीं सकता है कि उनके पास every month कितनी इंक्वायरी आ रही है, what is their conversion ratio, and if they are losing the opportunity, what are the reason, because they do not have any data to do the analysis.
True.
So there are multiple aspects wherein they can actually do the analysis. In few of the SMEs, like into the IT companies, we have many clients जहाँ पर attrition अच्छा खासा होता है because of the industry. अब उनको यही पता नहीं कि उनका attrition ratio कितना है. उनको ये पता होता है कि हमारा टीम साइज के requirement is 200, तो वो मेंटेन रखनी है.
करेक्ट.
बट वो अगर पता चल जाए कि कौन से मंथ में एट्रिशन ज्यादा आता है, किस रीजन से एट्रिशन आता है, तो प्रोबेबली दे कैन वर्क ऑन दैट चैलेंज.
Very true. These business points and data points, as you said, matter a lot. One thing, like, as you mentioned, accounts receivable, I think that's the biggest headache.
True.
Even I'm personally facing that. So, मतलब जो कहते हैं कि जो पैसे उधार पे है, right? That is, I think, biggest challenge major business owners and SMEs are facing. What's the best solution you tend to provide to your clients?
So there are multiple things. Right now we are working with one of the utensil manufacturing. So project just start हुआ है, and company owner is like बाकी सारा काम बाद में करते हैं, sales भले बाद में आएगा चलेगा, मेरे को मेरा account receivable strong करना है. So when we check on to few of the parameters कि like उनके invoice में due date कहीं पे mention है तो नहीं है. They write credit days कि 45 days का credit दे रहे हैं. राइट. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका इनवॉइस रेज हुआ है 13 को, सो आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आपका ड्यू डेट कौन सा है, बिकॉज आपने ड्यू डेट कहीं पे लिखा नहीं है. नो वन विल कैलकुलेट 45 डेज क्या होता है,
प्लस करके कोई नहीं.
राइट. दैट इज वन थिंग. सेकंड, जो बिगेस्ट मिसकंसेप्शन है इन एसएमई कि 45 डेज का क्रेडिट है तो 45 डेज तक तो हमें पैसे मांगने ही नहीं है, उसके बाद हम मांगने का सोचेंगे, एंड अगर 46 डे पे मांग लिया तो सामने वाले को बुरा लग जाएगा. राइट. तो दैट इज अगेन दी मिसकंसेप्शन. अगर हम क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज कर रहे हैं, वी आर गेटिंग एक्स डेज का क्रेडिट, 20 डेज का रहता है जनरली विद क्रेडिट ड्यू डेट, तो वहां से 5 दिन पहले ही हमें रिमाइंडर्स कॉल्स चालू हो जाता है. तो दैट इज द एक्चुअल वे ऑफ वर्किंग. आपका ड्यू डेट है उससे 1 वीक पहले आपका एटलीस्ट सॉफ्ट रिमाइंडर जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि दैट इज अ ह्यूमन साइकोलॉजी कि आपको एक्स नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स रिमाइंडर आएगा, देन ओनली यू विल मेक द पेमेंट. सो हमारा जो रिमाइंडर प्रोसेस है वो ही 15 दिन बाद स्टार्ट होता है.
ओके.
इन जनरल. राइट. अगेन उस क्लाइंट के साथ जो मैं डिस्कस कर रहा था कि 45 डेज है, अगर कोई 90 डेज में पेमेंट करता है तो बोले कि सर हमने कंडीशन लिखी है 2% इंटरेस्ट. मैंने बोला आपने कितनी बार चार्ज किया, तो बोले कभी नहीं. राइट. तो व्हाट वी हैव रिसेंटली इम्प्लीमेंटेड ऑन द पायलट प्रोजेक्ट, जो नए क्लाइंट्स आ रहे हैं उनके केस में, कि ये प्राइसिंग है फॉर 7 डेज, ये प्राइसिंग है 30 डेज, ये प्राइसिंग है 45, this 60 and 90.
Okay, different pricing
for different credit period.
Okay.
अगर आपका उस हिसाब से पेमेंट नहीं आया तो इनवॉइस रिवाइज करके वापस भेज देना है हमें.
Okay.
So they have actually started implementing it. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, जो क्लाइंट ने एक बार से ज्यादा ट्रांजेक्शन किया है वहां पर पेमेंट स्ट्रीमलाइन हो गया है.
Okay.
एंड दी बिगेस्ट पेन एरिया विद एसएमई, जब तक उनको खुद को बाइंग नहीं आएगी किसी चीज के लिए, they cannot implement it. So if I talk about my business, we charge X amount in the advance and we take PDC for entire year.
True.
Right? अब PDC अगर मैं खुद कन्विंस नहीं हूँ कि कोई PDC मुझे देगा, I cannot sell it to my client.
True.
सेम एसएमई में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है, उनको पेमेंट मांगने से डर लगता है कि पेमेंट मांगा क्लाइंट छूट जाएगा. बट ऐसा नहीं होता है. दे डू नॉट वर्क ऑन दी सप्लाई डिमांड रेशियो. मेजरली ये होता है कि उनके पास सप्लाई कैपेसिटी ज्यादा होती है, डिमांड कम होती है, बिकॉज दे आर totally dependent on inbound sales. So when they start doing it outbound and supply हमेशा कम होगी compared to demand, so they can implement their payment policies.
And this is very true कि like you know how you mentioned about human psychology. But एक फिर पता challenge क्या आता है, like not to counter anything, just what I have noticed कि when we start reminding, right, there are some clients who are like ठीक है चलो आप ले जाओ अगली बार देखते बिजनेस करना है कि
Right.
नहीं, what to do.
सो वो तो हर इंडस्ट्री में आएगा. अगर आपने एक हफ्ते बाद भी किया, ठीक है, तभी वो होने वाला है. जिनको ये प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करनी है वो करेंगे
वो
ही करेंगे.
करेंगे.
बट इफ यू कंपेयर इट अगेन इनटू द परसेंटेज, so that cannot be more than 2% client.
True.
So I always believe there are 4 kind of clients.
Okay.
Right? One is high ticket client, जो हमेशा आपके लिए एकदम प्रॉपर क्लाइंट है इन एवरी पॉसिबल वे, कि उनका ना तो पेमेंट के लिए झिकझिक होगा, ना उनका कोई प्रोडक्ट के लिए कभी कंप्लेन होगा. राइट? एक होता है चीप क्लाइंट, जो हमेशा आपको प्रॉब्लम ही करता है. इट इज फॉर स्टार्टिंग विद दी नेगोशिएशन, फिर सर्विस के लिए हमेशा कंप्लेन रहेगी. राइट? हर चीज में दे विल ऑलवेज डू दी कंप्लेन. वन इज सोफिस्टिकेटेड क्लाइंट, जो रिजनेबल रेट आप जो दे रहे हो उसी रेट पे नेगोशिएट करके क्लोज करेंगे. सो जो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, वी ऑल आर स्टक इनटू द चीप क्लाइंट. राइट? कि जो कंप्लेन वाले क्लाइंट होते हैं ना, वो हमारे सबसे ज्यादा होते हैं. इफ यू डिवाइड ऑल योर क्लाइंट्स इनटू द 4 सेगमेंट, तो 50% आर इनटू द चीप क्लाइंट. सो वी हैव टू टर्न दैट रेशियो टुवर्ड्स सोफिस्टिकेटेड एंड हाई टिकट क्लाइंट. वो अगर हो गया तो बिजनेस इज इन राइट ट्रैक.
So like you know as you said these 4 types of client and इससे पहले आपने केस स्टडी बताई थी, you went to a client who has 500 CR turnover. How do you approach these people or how do you get access to these people?
So every clients have a different mindset and way of approach. So ये 500 करोड़ की क्लाइंट की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो I got the contact number through one of our client. But he again mentioned कि मेरा नाम मत देना, कि मैंने नंबर दिया है. I just call the randomly. Is that I'm calling from, obviously I do not ask my team to call such high ticket clients. Right? So I called him and like I started interacting over the phone. Okay, I'm into this and I want to meet you for business consulting. So I was like, I'm not interested. Right? So I said, okay, that's fine, but I want to have a cup of tea with you. So it was like something different to him because ऐसा कभी शायद किसी ने नहीं किया होगा. So he was like, okay, fine, come today at 4. So I went there at 4 and we had like tea and we had discussion for almost an hour. But we didn't had any discussion regarding business consulting or management consulting. Okay. End of the meeting, I was like, sir, चलो मैं चलता हूँ. It was nice meeting you. I was like, जो काम के लिए आए हो वो तो बात करो. I was like, नहीं आज तो मैं चाय पीने आया हूँ, तो वो कर लिया हमने. So it's like, नहीं, I know you came for the business consulting purpose only. I was like, नहीं आज के लिए तो मैं इसी चीज के लिए आया हूँ. So he got again inspired कि यार ये तो गजब आदमी है. ऐसा कैसे कोई चाय पी के जा रहा है without solving the actual purpose. So then he again gave me the appointment. Second day we met again and like after a month we were able to close that deal. Okay. So जब आप एक ओनर की तरह बात करते हो, not as a salesman, तो you can get access to this high ticket clients. But most of the time ये होता है कि everyone is running after the numbers. कि मुझे ये नंबर अचीव करना है, नंबर अचीव करना है. तो वहां पर this high ticket clients are not easily approachable. You have to use a different approach, right? Yes. I really like this approach. Just like go and talk them, let them think. True. Yes, yeah, wow, amazing.
So, talking further on types of client, what are the usual type of clients you are dealing with, maybe in terms of industry or the business they are in?
So we have clients like starting from these startups,
Hmm.
जहाँ पर उनके पास सिर्फ रॉ आइडिया उनको क्या करना है,
Hmm.
कुछ जगह पर रॉ आइडिया भी नहीं है, दे जस्ट हैव दी स्पेंडिंग कैपेसिटी
Yeah.
कि मुझे इतना इन्वेस्ट करना है, आप बताओ क्या कर
क्या
सकते हैं,
करें?
राइट. देन वी हैव क्लाइंट्स हु आर लाइक इनटू रिटेल,
Hmm.
जहाँ पर हो सकता है दैट टर्नओवर इज अराउंड 1 CR, and we have clients like जहाँ पर they have already very well establishment around 500 CR to 800 CR.
Okay.
And industry, we have like got the clients from almost all the industries.
Any industry you specialize in?
Real estate and ready mix concrete.
Okay, amazing. So, you said you also have startup clients who just have the spending capacity or no idea whatsoever. Right now, there's this huge trend in India, not in India, I think worldwide, about startups that हमने starting में बात की, lot of business only focuses on yearly P&L and not monthly, right?
Right.
These startups, the new startups, for 5 years, 10 years, they'll only make losses, right, on investors' money, and then they will think about profitability. As maybe a conventional business owner or someone who is enthusiastic about profitability, what do you think of this concept?
So I do not agree to the fact जो आज हो रहा है मार्केट में,
Hmm.
it is more of a valuation
Yeah,
game,
very true. Valuation
right?
game.
तो वो कहीं ना कहीं इंडस्ट्री को चैलेंज कर रहा
Hmm.
है in many aspect,
Hmm.
because of this valuation game and burning capacity,
Yeah.
right? They actually burn the money,
Hmm.
and because of that they spend money with, or like not the proper goal plan or roadmap.
Hmm.
So I can say कि like because of that बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्री में चैलेंज क्रिएट होना स्टार्ट हो गया है into the different aspect. One, manpower.
Hmm.
Because of that spending capacity, जो मैन पावर हो सकता है कि एनुअल सीटीसी अराउंड 5 लाख में मिल सकता है,
Hmm.
बिकॉज ऑफ द स्टार्टअप
Yeah.
दे आर एबल टू गिव 10 लाख 12
Yeah.
lakhs, right?
Exactly.
तो जो कन्वेंशनल बिजनेस ओनर्स है, ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस ओनर, उनको चैलेंज आ रही है,
True.
बिकॉज दे आर एक्चुअली डूइंग द राइट वे ऑफ बिजनेस,
Hmm.
but because of that they have got limited resources for the spending capacity. Apart from that, obviously जो लोग सिर्फ वैल्यूएशन गेम में हैं,
Hmm.
they are ready to make loss.
Hmm.
ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस वाले वो लॉस बैर
नहीं
नहीं
कर
कर सकते
सकते.
फॉर लॉन्गर पीरियड,
Yeah.
राइट? तो यस, इट इज नॉट द राइट अप्रोच. एंड कहीं ना कहीं जो मुझे समझ में आ रहा है, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर इन स्टार्टअप,
Hmm.
their age group is like between 20 to 30 35
Hmm.
on a higher side, right? So हो सकता है they are able to make huge money
Hmm.
because of the valuation, but again जिस तरीके से बिजनेस बिल्ड किया है, they won't be able to sustain that money for the longer period.
True.
So अभी recently if we talk about the Havmor and Hoko,
Hmm.
right? उन्होंने Havmor पहले बेचा,
Hmm.
they build again a new brand Hoko,
Yeah.
and they are doing right again good business.
Yeah.
So that is again the right way of working.
Yeah.
उन्होंने एक कंपनी बेची, दूसरी भी खड़ी की, तो लॉस करके स्टार्ट नहीं किया.
Hmm.
दे आर अगेन डूइंग द ट्रेडिशनल वे ऑफ बिजनेस ओनली.
Yeah.
सो जो भी स्टार्टअप कर रहा है,
Hmm.
if they are actually doing the business without getting into valuation game, तो
Hmm.
बिजनेस अच्छे हो ही सकते हैं. There is no doubt about it.
So as you quoted about Havmor and Oppo, can you give any case studies where you personally noticed कि due to this valuation game the business eventually drained?
To be honest, I do not have any case study,
Yeah.
or none of our client is into the valuation game
Hmm.
till now.
That's very good. I personally noticed this in the new 10-minute delivery industry, right? I think Grofers was the first
Right.
one to bring it. Then we had Swiggy Instamart coming in.
True.
So when these two settled a bit, then out of nowhere Zepto came in.
Very true.
They just gave mad discounts. I used to order 10 rupee lace, which used to get delivered in 8 rupees at my doorstep. Now these three are settled. Ola recently announced that they want to
Right.
enter. So all these are making losses only. So I don't know where this will lead to, but let's see. But one good case study is Zomato. I think for
Yes.
10 years they made losses and now they're finally profitable.
True.
So, but still I agree with you on the valuation game. This is a dirty business tactic, I believe. Right.
Very true.
Coming back to consulting, If I talk about, if I say management consulting term to anyone, first thing that comes to anyone's mind is MBB, McKinsey, Bain, BCG, right? Let's talk about that a bit. What type of consulting that they do कि वो इतना charge करते हैं? I know a case study where they charge roughly 3 to 4 CR for a 3 month project, right? So why what do they do and why do they charge so much?
So they are into many vertical, starting with IT. So whenever they take any project, they do the 360 like revolution in your company, starting from design thinking, like what can be the right technology for your business. They get into the operational part as well. They get into the your team management. They do the thorough audit about your entire business, wherein it is not just one, two, or three consultant are coming to your premises, but team of consultant, wherein they actually create the hell lot of difference in your existing business. So I'll give you one of the case study. One of our client, which is into the manufacturing of tapes and all, right? Okay. The turnover is nearly 1,000 CR. Okay. So one of our sister concern company, which is into operational management consulting. So they are also like dealing with BCG, McKinsey, and all as a operational consultant. So when we work together for this company, so we actually realized that the project tenure was hardly 2 months, but after 2 months, if we talk about the operational excellence, that really helped company to like reduce their operational cost and improve the profitability at 40%.
Okay.
So
Within
for
2 months.
within 2 months. So for example, if company is having turnover of 1,000 crore and their profitability get increased to 40%,
That's
so
insane.
obviously they would love to spend this amount, this kind of amount.
Yeah.
So when this company come into the picture, they actually deliver what they communicate, and most of the time they actually give you the deliverable in percentage as well. How much profitability you will improve by having them on board. In normal consulting, so for example, if I talk about myself, we cannot give you in detail in document way, because we know as a consultant, in most of the SME, the business owner is the biggest problem. Okay. To be honest, because whenever we want to take any decision, business owner is the first one जिसे रेजिस्टेंस होगा. फॉरगेट अबाउट द टीम. टीम को शायद रेजिस्टेंस बाद में होगा, बिजनेस ओनर को ही सबसे पहले होगा, राइट? तो फॉर एग्जांपल वी आल्सो वांट टू कमिट कि हम 50% आपको इंप्रूव करके देंगे आपकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, और टर्न ओवर में एक्स अमाउंट का इंप्रूवमेंट आएगा. बट वी नो कि हो सकता है बिजनेस ओनर ही उस चीज के लिए रेडी नहीं होगा. जो भी स्ट्रेटेजी हम इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहते हैं या जो भी कंपनी में हम चेंजेस लाना चाहते हैं, बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द डेलॉयट, मैकेंजी, बीसीजी एंड ऑल, तो वहां पर जो कंपनी के साथ वो लोग डील कर रहे हैं, दे आर ऑलरेडी वेरी वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड. दे एक्चुअली ट्रस्ट दिस कंसल्टेंट बिकॉज दे कैरी अ क्वाइट गुड ब्रांड नेम. Again, they carry a very successful portfolio. So because of that, the owner का जो buying होता है वो 100% होता है. True.
So that's why they are.
Yes.
Very true. Like as you said, they are able to deliver these good results. But if I talk from like just a monetary perspective, in SME consulting or someone who's just getting started in consulting, how much money can someone make being in the management consulting industry?
So it vary a lot in our industry. So we have seen like companies are charging 50,000 for 6 months, and we are charging like probably 15 lakhs for 6 months as well.
Okay.
So depending on what expertise you are carrying as a consultant.
So like if you can give like just an average idea in terms of yearly turnover if someone can expect.
So to start with, nearly 12 to 15 lakhs ka turnover a consultant can easily achieve.
Okay, with like basic knowledge.
Yes.
Great. So like in consulting, as you said, when I asked what do consultant do, you said we do analysis and you give solutions, right? So let's understand जो ये analysis होते हैं, like what are these type of analysis that consultants do?
So there are various kind of analysis. Like we do the competition analysis, wherein we do the IFAS, EFAS. So probably there are there are very few consultants, those who are actually doing the IFAS or EFAS like analysis, because most of are there who are just doing the SWOT analysis when we talk about the competition analysis.
Can you explain this IFAS and EFAS?
So internal factor analysis, that is IFAS, wherein we actually do the multi-level analysis.
Okay.
So internal factors are your staff. So we actually like talk to our client कि आपके सक्सेस के पीछे what are the 5 thing जो आपको सबसे ज्यादा सपोर्ट करता है. So probably he will say कि उनका जो PR है वो बहुत अच्छा है. So that is one point. So 5 पैरामीटर्स हमने क्लाइंट से चेक किए. अब बेस्ड ऑन these 5 पैरामीटर्स वी एक्चुअली डू दी वेटेज पार्ट कि कोई भी बिजनेस में PR का इन्वॉल्वमेंट कितना हो सकता है. So for example out of 50 we give for example let's say PR को 10% वेटेज इनफ है, इससे ज्यादा वेटेज जरूरी नहीं है. सेकेंड कि दे आर डॉक्यूमेंटिंग एवरीथिंग, दैट इज देयर अगेन स्ट्रेंथ. तो हमने उसे वेटेज दिया फॉर एग्जांपल 20%. सो आउट ऑफ 50 फिर हम वापस क्लाइंट से पूछते हैं कि आपको कितना वेटेज सही लग रहा है. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी एक्चुअली डिसाइड शॉर्ट टर्म गोल एंड लॉन्ग टर्म गोल. कि पहली फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी पे 3 महीने में हमें क्या अचीव करना है, एंड ऑफ द 1 ईयर क्या अचीव करना है, 5 इयर्स में क्या अचीव करना है. सो दैट इज इंटरनल फैक्टर. एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर कैन बी गवर्नमेंट कंप्लायंस. हो सकता है कि दे आर इनटू प्लास्टिक इंडस्ट्री, सडनली कोई नॉर्म्स आ गए जिसके चलते उनका मेजर प्रोडक्शन ड्रॉप करना पड़ा. सो दैट इज एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर. देन एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर कैन बी जैसे देयर आर इंडस्ट्री जो विद इन जियोग्राफिकल लिमिटेशन में ही बिजनेस कर सकते हैं. लेट्स से आरएमसी के 20 किलोमीटर 30 किलोमीटर से बाहर वो जा नहीं सकते. तो दैट इज अगेन एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर. तो ऐसे कौन से एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर है जो उनके बिजनेस में अफेक्ट करते हैं. So we again do 2 level of analysis in that. First is based on the company. Then again we do based on the products कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट में क्या उनका एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर और इंटरनल फैक्टर सपोर्ट करता है. So that help us to get into the right sales channel. कि there are 10 types of sales channel available in the market. लोगों को ज्यादा पता नहीं होता है. They know only कि मार्केट में सबसे ज्यादा लोग किस तरीके से बिजनेस करते हैं. हो सकता है कि एक्स प्रोडक्ट है वो नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से कर रहा है, तो एवरीवन इज आफ्टर दैट ओनली कि हाँ चलो हम भी इसी तरीके से अप्रोच करें. बट देयर आर सेगमेंट के जहां पर इजीली आपको मार्केट प्लेसमेंट हो सकता है विदाउट एनी हर्डल्स. तो दैट इज अगेन द राइट सेल्स चैनल, बट वहां पर फोकस ही नहीं है. सो दिस एनालिसिस हेल्प अस टू सिलेक्ट द राइट सेल्स चैनल कि हमें किस तरीके से करना चाहिए. जैसे अभी एक स्टार्टअप के साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं, दे आर कमिंग इट इनटू द पैकेट ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, अल्कलाइन वाटर में आ रहा है. एंड सो अभी राइट नाउ बिस्लरी और एनी गुड पैकेट ड्रिंकिंग वाटर इज एट 20 रुपीज पर लीटर. दे आर कमिंग अप विद 30 रुपीज. सो अल्कलाइन वाटर अगर आपको 30 रुपए में मिलेगा तो व्हाई समवन वुड टेक नॉर्मल पैकेट ड्रिंकिंग वाटर इंस्टेड ऑफ अल्कलाइन. सो वहां पर भी सेम कि कौन से सेल्स चैनल के थ्रू बिजनेस करना है. सो व्हाट वी रियलाइज कि होरेका इज वन ऑफ द easily accessible market, जहां पर there are hardly 2 or 3 big players to get into. And if we talk about the normal packet drinking, so every like modern trade or retail you will go, you will have different players. So वहां पर बड़ी competition है. So because of that our first focus will be horeca. Then we'll get into the institutional sales. कि again alkaline का benefit ज्यादा है, so we will deliver it to hospitals and all. तो कहाँ पर जैसे जिम वालों के साथ अभी टाइप चल रहा है. So launch से पहले most of the gym will be covered with supply capacity.
That's
So
amazing.
ये analysis से you will get into the right sales. जहाँ पर आपकी कम effort में you will get more result.
True, very true. Like as you said, a lot of businesses don't know कि कौन से टाइप के सेल्स चैनल होता है. ये कर रहे हैं, हम भी ये करेंगे.
Right.
Can you explain these different types of sales channels? Just like general. I know it's very industry specific. True. But if you can give a general idea.
So as I said, like one is direct sales.
Yeah.
Second one is into institutional sales,
Hmm.
wherein like your end product is consumed by someone
Hmm.
to make their own product.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for example, cooking oil, अगर आप बालाजी को बेच रहे हो,
Hmm.
so they are not reselling it to someone,
Yeah.
but they will consume and make some other product.
They'll use it as a raw material.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then e-commerce,
Hmm.
then you will have modern trade.
Yeah.
Modern.
What happens in modern trade?
So modern trade is like supermarket,
Okay.
like D-Mart, Big Bazaar, or different industry have different modern trade. Like for clothing, it will be pantaloons,
Yeah. Yeah.
website and all.
Okay.
Uh, Apart from that, there are few segment which is majorly for manufacturing,
Hmm.
and it is quite difficult to explain it in
Okay.
detail. It
Okay.
will be a big topic.
Yeah. No issues. Even that give a good idea. So, Arshal, आपने काफी सारे case studies you have been quoting, which is really interesting, right? Let's talk more about some interesting case studies. Any, like, client you got where you were able to give a amazing result, or it was something that's really interesting to discuss.
So in my initial days of journey, we acquired a client called Smokestack.
Smokestack.
Yeah, they are into manufacturing of pressure vessel, heat exchanger, storage tanks and all.
Okay.
So उनके साथ सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज था when they started the business. They started it without investing any capital. So जब आप capital के बिना business start करते हो तो financial crunch रहेगा ही रहेगा.
True.
Right? Initially they got quite good projects from one of the good chemical company based in Gujarat. I won't be able to disclose the
Yeah.
name. And the biggest challenge for them कि उनका मेजर जो क्लाइंट था, मेजर या बोलो कि 3-4 क्लाइंट थे, उनमें से जो सबसे बड़ा मार्केट शेयर था, दैट वाज फ्रॉम दैट क्लाइंट ओनली, व्हिच इज मोर देन 80%.
Okay.
अब उनके साथ जो चैलेंज था कि जो बिजनेस साइकिल है, लाइक फ्रॉम बाइंग द रॉ मटेरियल टू द पेमेंट is nearly 9 to 10 months.
Okay.
And their ticket size is more than 40-50 lakhs. तो जब भी प्रोजेक्ट आता है, क्लाइंट उनको 25% एडवांस कर रहा है, बाकी का जो पेमेंट है दैट इज एंड ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, जब वो मटेरियल सप्लाई करते हैं उसके 30 डेज के अंदर. तो देखने जाओ तो फॉर एग्जांपल 45 lakhs का अगर आपका टिकट है या 50 lakhs का टिकट है, उसमें से आपको लेट से 15 लाख भी एडवांस मिल गए, आपका प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कैन नॉट बी मोर देन 20%. राइट? तो 10 लाख से ज्यादा तो है नहीं. बाकी का रॉ मटेरियल आप मार्केट से ला रहे हो, अगेन क्रेडिट कोई भी 60 डेज से ज्यादा तो देगा नहीं. ऑन अ मेजर साइड लेट से 90 डेज, तो भी बाकी का फंड कहाँ से लाना. सो जब भी क्लाइंट से मिलते थे, ही इज लाइक यार हर्षल भाई, हमें अब नई एक और लोन लेनी है. तो हमेशा कंसल्टिंग से ज्यादा लोन पे बात चलती थी हमारी. सो वी रियलाइज कि ये उनके लिए बॉटल नेक है. इससे बाहर नहीं निकले ना तो ये बिजनेस आज नहीं तो कल बंद हो जाएगा. सो वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि और क्या कर सकते हैं जिसकी बिजनेस साइकिल छोटी हो एंड रिपीट बिजनेस ज्यादा हो. सो वी वर एबल टू गॉट द डील विथ वन ऑफ द पेट्रोलियम कंपनी, के जिनके लिए इनका ऐसा था कि हर महीने उनके जितने भी नए पेट्रोल पंप खुल रहे हैं, उसमें दे हैव टू सप्लाई द अंडरग्राउंड स्टोरेज टैंक. So every month they are able to get the order of 10-15 storage tanks. So जिससे उनका जो वर्किंग कैपिटल में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था या कैश फ्लो में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था वो सॉल्व हो गया. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट नाउ दे हैव गॉट द एश्योरेंस कि हर महीने इतने का बिलिंग हो रहा है उनका, एंड जो बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स है उससे उनकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी ड्राइव होनी स्टार्ट हो गई. सो फर्स्ट ईयर व्हेन वी टुक द प्रोजेक्ट, we took that in March. So that time that turnover was 1.5 CR.
Okay.
Next year they closed at 2.8.
Okay.
Then they closed at 6.
Okay.
Now they are doing every year multiplication.
Okay.
2x or 3x.
That's amazing.
And now they are like doing the projects with L&T, Indian Railway. So जब उनका फर्स्ट कंपनी था जहाँ पर आई यूज्ड टू गिव कंसल्टिंग, तो दैट वाज स्प्रेड अक्रॉस 1200 स्क्वायर यार्ड.
Okay.
नाउ देयर like factory area is more than 15,000 square yard area.
Okay. That's amazing.
So because of that, within like 6 months they gave us the another company of them, which was into chemical.
Okay.
So generally client के साथ ऐसा होता है कि when you are able to give right result, सो
Hmm.
उनकी मेजरली बिजनेस ओनर्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जो होते हैं उनकी दूसरी कोई कंपनी होती है
Hmm.
जो वो आपको तुरंत दे देते हैं,
Hmm.
बट प्रोवाइडेड यू वांट यू हैव टू गिव द राइट रिजल्ट.
Hmm. So that's a really good case study. But like there is never 100% success ratio, right?
True.
I'm pretty sure कुछ ऐसे projects होंगे where you would have had some difficulties or maybe in fact some failures, right?
Yes.
So could you discuss any of those?
हमारी इंडस्ट्री में चैलेंज है, that is like first 3 months of the project,
Okay.
because most of the business owners को चाहिए कि 3 महीने में we do the miracle, which is quietly impossible.
True.
जो बिजनेस आप 10 20 30 साल से कर रहे हो, we cannot do the transformation in 3 months, right? तो we are always ready now कि पहले 3 महीने में एक आध बार फायर फाइटिंग का कॉल आएगा ही आएगा, जो quite normal है अब. But yes, if I talk about the interesting story or one of the failure which I had, so I'll say कि एक ही क्लाइंट अभी तक ऐसा हुआ है कि जो क्लाइंट ने ड्रॉप किया या हम भी चाहते थे ये ड्रॉप हो जाए.
Okay.
दैट वाज इनटू द कॉस्मेटिक इंडस्ट्री.
Okay.
क्लाइंट ने हमें हमारी क्लाइंट के रेफरल से ऑनबोर्ड किया था, बिकॉज एक क्लाइंट के हमने बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट डिलीवर किए थे, उन्होंने रेफर किया था. सो दे वर हैविंग द अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हम अगर एज अ कंसल्टेंट आ रहे हैं तो बिजनेस 1 महीने में चेंज हो जाएगा, एंड जो इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है वो सिर्फ हम पे करना है, उनके खुद के बिजनेस पे कोई और इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करना है. So on the very first day I said कि अब आपको we need to have proper sales team. तो the owner said कि I'll do one thing, मेरा एक बंदा है जिससे हम काफी सालों से काम कर रहे हैं, you can train him as a sales manager. So I met that sales guy.
Yeah.
He used to work with the owner as a driver.
Okay.
So you cannot train someone like who is not having any skill. ड्राइवर को आप सेल्स मैनेजर नहीं बना सकते, एक बार सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव बना सकते हो, अगेन डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, राइट? सो आई टोल्ड द ओनर वेरी ब्लंटली कि विच इज काइंड ऑफ इम्पॉसिबल. अगर इसके साथ करना है इट विल टेक हेल लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू रीच द राइट एरिया. बट ओनर वाज लाइक कि नहीं, अगर आपको करना है तो हमारे पास अभी एक्स्ट्रा फंड नहीं है, जो फंड था हमने एज अ कंसल्टेंट आपको दे दिया. आई वाज लाइक ये गलत है, आप एक काम करो, हमसे कंसल्टिंग मत लो, बट इन्वेस्ट दिस मनी इनटू योर बिजनेस. वो ज्यादा जस्टिफाई कर देगा, बिकॉज हमें भी सो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपको वॉर लड़ना है तो सेनापति से कुछ नहीं होगा, ही नीड सेना एज वेल, राइट? विदाउट टीम यू कैन नॉट अचीव एनीथिंग. So that was the only failure जो हमने within like 15-20 days project drop किया था.
Okay.
Other than that, yes, fire fighting होता रहता है. क्लाइंट को 2 महीने बाद लगता है कि रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, या जिस डायरेक्शन में चाहिए वो नहीं मिलता है. That is why we have the review mechanism in our company. Every month, one of the principal consultant or founder consultant will do the review along with the consultant and client, wherein we actually decide what are the gaps and how we can resolve those gaps. So अब वो जो ratio है about the complaints, that is hardly 1%. Okay,
that's amazing. Talking about firefighting, I can recall one incident that when we used to work together, a client called me and he was like, I want to fire my entire team, and I was blank, right? I did not know what to do. Then I tell you, Harshal, this is what has happened. You're like, okay, tell him we are coming, and we go there, and you just handle the situation, and it's great, right? So staying calm in these situations, especially in service industries, it's very important, right?
True.
How do you manage to handle such firefighting situations?
So I'll say one thing कि कोई भी चीज आसानी से नहीं होती है. So as a owner, like I have my journey. It's like more than 11 years now. 8 years into the consultation and 3 years into different business. So because of the experience now, I have got this calmness. वो एक्सपीरियंस के साथ ही आता है ज्यादातर. एंड कुछ ना कोई सीनियर होता है जो आपको कभी ना कभी कोई इंसिडेंट में सिखा देता है, जैसे यू रिकॉल दिस इंसिडेंट. सो वन ऑफ द अगेन लाइक इन माय अर्ली डेज I still remember. So as you know, we have HR consultant with us, finance consultant also. So एक client था जो अपने एक एम्प्लॉय को निकालना चाहता था।
Hmm.
सो आई डिस्कस दैट विथ माय एचआर कंसल्टेंट के ये क्लाइंट ऐसा बोल रहा है कि हमें इसे निकाल देना है। सो वी डिड दिस जूम मीटिंग दैट टाइम। तो कंसल्टेंट ने बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया कि सर एक चीज़ बताओ कि आप इसे निकाल के क्या करना चाहते हो।
Hmm.
ऐसा है कि कॉस्ट कटिंग के लिए निकाल रहे हो तो निकाल दो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है,
Hmm.
बट इसे निकाल कर किसी और को लेकर आना है। तो बोले हाँ। तो बोले ओके, अब एक चीज़ बताओ, इसे अगर निकाल के ला रहे हो किसी को,
Hmm.
व्हाट आर दी चांसेस कि इससे बेटर मिलेगा आपको।
Hmm.
तो इसे 100% मिलेगा।
Hmm.
बोले कि नहीं, फिर भी अगर हम प्रैक्टिकल बात करें,
Hmm.
सो देयर इज अ चांस कि इसके जैसा मिलेगा, हो सकता है इससे खराब मिलेगा,
Hmm.
या हो सकता है इससे बेटर मिलेगा। यही
Hmm.
3 प्रोबेबिलिटी है।
True.
सो इफ वी टॉक अबाउट इससे बेटर वाली की प्रोबेबिलिटी, तो इट इज 33%।
Yeah.
सो व्हाई डू यू वांट टू टेक रिस्क फॉर 33%?
Hmm.
बाकी 33% प्रोबेबिलिटी है कि इसके जैसा ही मिलेगा, तो ये कहाँ बुरा है?
Hmm.
ये आपके साथ 6-8 महीने से काम कर रहा है, ही इज डिलीवरिंग क्वाइट गुड रिजल्ट। हो सकता है आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन जितना बेटर नहीं है,
Hmm.
बट रिजल्ट तो अच्छा दे ही रहा है। सो 33% के लिए ये रिस्क लेना वर्थ नहीं है।
Hmm.
सो ऐसे कोई ना कोई इंसिडेंट से यू विल लर्न मैनी थिंग्स।
Hmm.
एंड यस, देर आर बुक्स के जिसके चलते हुए यू विल improve योर एक्सपीरियंस। थियोरेटिकल एक्सपीरियंस also makes a lot of difference.
Okay. Definitely. So, one more thing, Harshal. How many clients have you managed till now?
It's more than 700, I guess.
700. That's a big number, right? So, having interacted with almost 700 plus businesses and helping them grow in some manner, one would definitely think, if you are able to help so many businesses, are you in plans of starting a separate business of your own? As you said, you have some other businesses. If you can talk about that.
So like everyone having different sort of aspirations, right? So I always had like a मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जाना है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जाना है,
Any specific reason why?
बिकॉज आई कैन सी कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल सर्विस इंडस्ट्री के देयर आर लूपहोल्स या देयर आर चैलेंजेस। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के डिफरेंट लेवल के चैलेंजेस है, बट इफ यू टॉक कंपेयर चैलेंजेस बिटवीन सर्विस इंडस्ट्री एंड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के चैलेंजेस जो है वो मैनेजेबल ज़्यादा है
Okay.
कंपेयर टू सर्विस इंडस्ट्री। बिकॉज सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में देयर आर टू मैनी थिंग्स। फर्स्ट, योर ब्रांड वैल्यू इज स्मॉलर देन योर फेस वैल्यू।
Okay.
सेकेंड, कि आपका रिपीट बिजनेस जो है वो काफ़ी बार आपके फेस वैल्यू से डिराइव होता है,
Hmm.
राइट। थर्ड, कि जो आपका स्टाफ है वही आपकी एसेट है।
Hmm.
अगर स्टाफ चला गया तो यू डू नॉट हैव एनी
Yeah,
एसेट,
true.
राइट। तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में वो सारे प्लस पॉइंट है कि बहुत सारी कंपनीज ऐसी है जिसके ओनर को कोई जानता ही नहीं है।
Hmm.
सेकेंड, जो उनकी प्रोडक्ट है वो उनकी एसेट है, जो उनका यूनिट है वो उनकी एसेट है।
Hmm.
देयर आर मल्टीपल एसेट दे आर कैरिंग विद देयर ब्रांड।
Hmm.
सो ये सारे रीजन से बहुत बार होता है कि इतने सारे बिजनेस को हमने हैंडल किया है, वी नो इन एंड आउट अबाउट मोस्ट ऑफ द बिजनेसेस नाउ।
Hmm. Hmm.
तो लेट्स वर्क आउट ऑन वन ऑफ द बेस्ट बिजनेस।
Hmm.
बट कहीं ना कहीं मेरा ये मानना है कि वही चीज करनी चाहिए जहां पर आपका वाई क्लियर है।
Okay.
So till now, I'm unable to clear any of the why for any manufacturing industry.
Okay.
Yes, we have like again एक dream है कि I need to create such umbrella wherein all the service industry will be covered.
Hmm.
So recently we started one new company which is Rapid Growth Facility Management,
Okay.
wherein we are helping companies to provide the semi-skilled or unskilled employees on
Hmm.
our own payroll. So
Hmm.
kind of housekeeping services, technical services and all.
Okay. Great. Congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
new business, right? So, coming back to consulting. So, one thing a lot of small business owners think, they have many doubts or misconceptions, right? Management consultant को ले या ना ले, what advice would you give to small business owners if they are planning to hire a consultant? What should they look out for?
One definitely need to take management consulting services. But again, जिस तरीके से हम हमारे किसी क्लाइंट को क्रेडिट देने से पहले प्रॉपर ड्यू डिलिजेंस करते हैं कि कितने क्रेडिट वर्दी है वो लोग, उनका पोर्टफोलियो कैसा है, उनकी क्लाइंटेल क्या है, राइट। सेम चीज़ उनको किसी भी मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट को हायर करने से पहले देखना चाहिए कि इज ही अ इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट और ही इज हैविंग द कंपनी विद एक्स वाई जी अमाउंट ऑफ टीम मेंबर्स। देन कौन से उनके क्लाइंट है, वहाँ पर उनका सक्सेस रेशियो क्या है, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आफ्टर द कोविड व्हाट आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस कि बहुत सारे इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट आर देयर इन द मार्केट, राइट? एंड कहीं ना कहीं आई विल नॉट से इट इज रॉन्ग, बहुत सारे अच्छे भी है उसमें से, बट व्हेन यू आर इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट तो आपकी अकाउंटेबिलिटी कम हो जाती है। आज फॉर एग्जांपल मैं अगर एक कंपनी की जगह इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट हूँ तो ये हो सकता है कि चलो आज मुझे एक्स वाई जी नंबर ऑफ क्लाइंट्स है, मेरा खर्चा निकल रहा है, मैं कर रहा हूँ, कल उठ के क्लाइंट्स कम हो जाएंगे एंड नए समहाउ नहीं बन रहे, तो प्रोबेबली आई स्टार्ट लुकिंग फॉर द जॉब। एंड अगर अच्छी जॉब इन बिटवीन मिल जाएगी तो जो क्लाइंट मैं सर्व कर रहा हूँ एक या दो, उसका फ्यूचर क्या, उन्होंने तो आप पे एक रुपए और अपॉर्चुनिटी पे सबसे ज्यादा काम किया है। It is not only financial loss, it is more of a opportunity loss.
So this is something people
Yes.
should look out for. Very true. And like as we also discussed that team is very important for any business, right? One thing I personally have noticed is जब भी कोई business को scale करना होता है, right?
Right.
Team building is a very important aspect, and one thing while scaling is that you have to give your employees this power and accountability to take decisions and drive some aspects of business. But इसमें फिर एक प्रॉब्लम क्या आ जाता है कि a lot of business owners feel कि हम इसको ही सब सिखा देंगे, सारे ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स ये जान जाएगा, then they'll leave and they'll start their own business, right?
Right.
How to tackle this situation?
You will also agree on this कि सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में इसकी अपॉर्चुनिटी सबसे ज्यादा है, राइट? And recently I interacted with one of the listed company owner. He said कि I am the only one जिनसे उनका इंटरेक्शन हुआ है जिसकी खुद की एक अच्छी खासी टीम है, अदरवाइज मोस्ट ऑफ द कंसल्टेंट आर इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट। तो ही आस्क्ड मी द सेम क्वेश्चन कि आपको कभी ऐसा डर नहीं लगा कि कोई आपका कॉम्पिटिटर बन जाएगा, राइट? तो आई सेड वेरी इजीली कि देखो जिसे कंपटीशन में आना है वो तो आएगा, राइट? अब आज मेरा कोई एम्प्लॉय है, वो अगर मेरे साथ कंपटीशन में आता है तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, मेरे एक या दो क्लाइंट को वो लेके जाएगा, उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं हो सकता है। सेकंड जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि लाइक जो सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस है एक इंडिपेंडेंट कंसल्टेंट में एक कंपनी में, तो क्रेडिबिलिटी है। अगर आज कोई अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट करता है लेट्स से कंपनी खोल के भी, तो जब तक वो मेरे लेवल तक पहुंचेगा तब तक मैं इससे और ऊपर चला जाऊंगा, सो आई नीड नॉट टू वरी अबाउट इट। इन फैक्ट I still remember one of the consultant resigned from our company just before the COVID, and he joined one of our client only as a CEO.
Okay.
So I was not having any problem with that. I congratulated him कि okay चलो अगर आपको as a CEO अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है एक अच्छी कंपनी में which is like more than 1000 CR company, तो nothing wrong in it. बट लोग क्या करते हैं, उसे फियर में आ जाते हैं कि यार ये मेरे सारे क्लाइंट ले जाएगा। तो अगर आपको वो फियर है तो कहीं ना कहीं आपने राइट प्रैक्टिस से बिजनेस नहीं किया है। अगर आज मान लो मेरे जितने भी 700-800 क्लाइंट जो मैंने सर्व किए हैं, अगर उनपे मेरा ग्रीप नहीं है तो वो क्लाइंट आज नहीं तो कल मेरे स्टाफ में से अगर कोई नहीं निकल रहा है, बाहर से भी कोई है तो वो लेके जा सकता है। बट अगर मेरा ग्रीप है तो मुझे पता है कि बाहर की दुनिया की कोई भी कंपनी में से भी कंसल्टेंट जाएगा तो मेरे क्लाइंट मेरे ही है, वो कोई इजीली हैंडल नहीं कर पाएगा। सो आई फर्मली बिलीव कि टीम को एम्पावर करना ही चाहिए। अगर आप ये सोचोगे उसे एम्पावर करेंगे तो वो कहीं और चला जाएगा, लेट्स से 10% चले गए विच इज अगेन बिग नंबर। आई कैन से 1 से 1 और 2% कैन गो इनटू द कंपटीशन, बट बाकी के लोग आपके साथ ही रहेंगे। अगर आप एम्पावर करते हो, just imagine what kind of productivity they will deliver with you.
Very true.
तो वो लोग उस profitability को नहीं देख रहे, they are just looking at the loss part, which is hardly 2%.
Yeah. So letting go of fear and being very sure कि हम जो कर रहे हैं no one will be able to replicate it. And talking more on team building, if I ask from a HR perspective, a lot of business owners fail in understanding कि अगर मेरे को किसी को hire करना है, what should I look into that candidate, what are the questions I should ask them, right? So how to identify a right candidate?
So first of all, there is again a misconception in the market कि similar industry वाले को उठा लो, आपके competitor को उठा लो, तो होगा ये कि वो आएगा पहले दिन से business लेकर आएगा, and most of the time वो लोग interview भी ढंग से नहीं लेते when they are having someone from the competitor team. कि इसका इंटरव्यू लेने की क्या जरूरत है, ये तो ऑलरेडी वहां काम कर रहा है, हमें पता है, राइट? but that is a wrong practice. We always believe कि if I talk about our company कि competitor के यहाँ से अगर कोई CV आएगा ना तो हम उसे कभी देखेंगे भी नहीं.
Okay.
Reason we do not want to get into that kind of war situation. आज हमने उनके एम्प्लॉयज लिए, कल वो हमारे लेगा. सो एक बार वो स्टार्ट हुआ तो वो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. दैट इज फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड, जो देखना चाहिए सबसे ज्यादा इन वन कैंडिडेट, दैट इज देयर लर्निंग कैपेसिटी, या व्हाट इज देयर दैट कैंडिडेट्स एटीट्यूड. अगर उसका राइट एटीट्यूड है तो वी कैन ट्रेन हिम, वी कैन मोल्ड हिम, वी कैन गेट व्हाट एवर रिजल्ट वी वांट. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या होता है कि इन एसएमई, फॉर एग्जाम्पल दे आर गिविंग 15,000 सैलरी, 30,000 सैलरी, 40,000. तो जितनी सैलरी दे रहे हैं ना उसमें उनका एक्सपेक्टेशन होता है 80,000 या 1 लाख रुपीज के कैंडिडेट जैसे. सो दैट इज नॉट द राइट अप्रोच. आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल किसी को एज अ अकाउंट एग्जीक्यूटिव के लिए ले रहे हो, डेजिग्नेशन दे रहे हो मैनेजर की, और एक्सपेक्टेशन है सीए की, तो वो कभी नहीं होने वाला है.
True. That's very true. So, Harshal, from your personal experience, if you can share any good hiring that you did which helped you a lot.
You are the one of the case.
Apart from me.
So I still remember our conversation, like without meeting as well, we finalized you, right? And you were working with on tele project.
Yeah.
So I still remember recently I had interaction with Sanjeev sir.
Okay.
So one of the tele members said कि BCM Rapigro में कोई अच्छा नहीं है. So संजीव सर countered it कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. Dhruvin was the best BCM across India. That was the statement he gave. So you are one of the example. And what was the question you asked?
I didn't ask from, but
Yes, yes.
very blessed that you said many. From a position perspective, right? If I share my personal experience, right? Recently, I hired a founder's office executive. So what their role is basically that as a business owner, there are a lot of tiny tasks that people get into, like following up, coordinating, fixing, scheduling. And if you look from a bigger perspective, वो आपके दिन का ना काफी सारा टाइम एंड एनर्जी ले लेता है, राइट? सो all these work is being done by founders of this executive, so I can only focus on the streamlined things. So any such positions that people should hire for but they tend to let go?
MIS executive.
Okay, what do they do?
They actually create different kind of reports for the company.
Okay.
That is probably for finance, sales, operations. Every kind of department need certain level of report. But most of the time SME is not actually considering it as the one of the most important position. So if you go out of India, even if company is having 4 employees, they would have one person as a MIS executive.
That's management information.
Yes.
System, right? So I think that's very important, such data points like
True.
financial reports that help along. I'll keep that in notes, right? So moving on, if I talk from some industrial point of view, you might know that Ashnir Grover recently made a comment on management consultants that they're very irrelevant. Something on these lines he has said, right? So what's your view on that?
You only said it's irrelevant, so I need not to say much about it because it's actually irrelevant. So like if I talk about the considering that statement with industry, so why it's irrelevant, because he is carrying quite good background like IIT, IIM, right? So considering his background, it is probably irrelevant for him because he himself is one of the management consultant, right? And if we talk about SME, most of the business owners are very much into the traditional business wherein they know how to do sales, nothing more than that, right? So because of that, they actually require someone who is like coming into their business and help them into the strategic planning and taking strategic decision. If I talk about the Asnil grower, right? If he is not having this kind of background, तो probably वो आज वहाँ पर नहीं होता without IIT and IIM.
Yeah, very true. Like maybe for him it's not
Yes.
very relevant, but there are people who are in need of these services. So, talking further on industry part, AI has been playing major role in all the industries, and recently I read there is this new AI called Mackenzie 250 GPT, right? Which apparently has this capacity that can replace someone quoted this that management consultants can replace management consultants. What do you think AI is going to play a role in the consulting industry, and will it actually replace consultants?
AI can actually help
Hmm.
management consultant. They cannot replace the management consultant, because if I talk about the SME, right? So, for example, if I met your father, if I'll ask, sir, તમારા બિઝનેસમાં શું શું challenges છે?
Hmm.
Probably he will say કોઈ challenge નથી.
Hmm.
Or else he will say कि एक બે problem, he will probably say, and
Hmm.
that's it.
Hmm.
Not more than two or three problems.
Hmm.
But as a management consultant, we actually identify what are the challenges he is
Hmm.
having into the business, probably which is not like quite visible to the business owner.
Hmm.
So AI cannot identify the challenge.
Hmm.
Probably he can help you to solve the challenge.
Hmm.
Again, let's say we have similar industry client or biggest two rivals in Ahmedabad
Hmm.
as our client,
Okay.
right? If I ask Mackenzie 250 GPT, right, कि इसका क्या solution कर सकते हैं,
Hmm.
solution for both the company will be the same.
Hmm.
But as a management consultant, we understand what is the strength of this client and what is the strength of this client.
Hmm.
Accordingly, we'll define the strategies.
Hmm.
So, which any AI cannot do that.
Hmm.
So, human interference would be most essential thing when we talk about the management consulting. And most important, implementation.
Hmm.
ओनर के पास आज भी सारा नॉलेज है,
Hmm.
जो जीपीटी कोई भी एआई दे रहा है,
Hmm.
राइट? तो नॉलेज की जरूरत नहीं है किसी भी ओनर को, एग्जीक्यूशन इज द मेन प्रॉब्लम.
True.
सो एआई एग्जीक्यूट कुछ नहीं कर सकता है,
Hmm.
उसके लिए तो ह्यूमन इंटरफेरेंस चाहिए ही चाहिए.
True. Very true. ज्ञान तो सब दे सकते हैं, but execute
True.
करके कोई दे, right? So, like talking about the career part in management consulting, if I want some career advice from you, if someone wants to start their career in management consulting, what should their first steps be like?
फर्स्ट स्टेप आई वुड से उनको जॉब करनी चाहिए इनटू दी एनी सेल्स डोमेन,
Hmm.
or if they are having the finance background, so probably in a finance background. But directly, if they get into the management consulting, probably because not carrying any experience,
Hmm.
it would be quite difficult journey for them. But if they are having any sales background or finance background or HR background
Hmm.
in general, so that will have the kind of exposure to their profile.
Hmm.
And then if they join any management consulting company,
Hmm.
again, I'll firmly believe that one need to work with SME expert consulting company instead of company like Big Fours.
Hmm.
Reason, Big Fours में अगर आप जाते हो, so you will have proper SOP for everything,
Yeah.
right? You will not gain your knowledge much in detail. It will be like you have to just follow the SOPs and you
Hmm.
will come to the outcome.
Yeah.
But in SME, you have to use your brain, you have to do many trial and error thing, and you will discuss with your seniors, subject matter experts.
Hmm.
So that will give more exposure, and that will actually like gaining your experience in practical way as well.
No, very true. Even like no, if you would have known my situation, I had this chance to like join a MNC, but I knew it would be very process oriented, and getting that space to experiment that like helps someone learn a lot, right? So if I talk further, let's say someone has some enough knowledge about consulting and now they want to start their own management consulting firm. How should they plan that?
So first thing, like they need to define what kind of scope of work they can actually deliver,
Hmm.
because in our industry, scope of work matters the most. For example, let's say you are also planning to start the management consulting company. You want to more towards the let's say sales consulting.
Hmm.
So if you are not aware what kind of scope of work you can deliver, probably you will fail in very first project. Because I know one of the company. So what happened, like we got the inquiry from Google, and
Okay.
through Google,
Hmm.
and we closed that. We were about to close the client. We quoted them around 12, 13 lakh rupees. But one of the startup company quoted them like 1 lakh rupees for a year. And like client bluntly said कि हर्षल भाई आपके साथ करना था, लेकिन आपका कोड काफी ज्यादा था compared to other company, and they are also having the similar background like you. I was like, okay, are they carrying the same kind of experience? He said नहीं, वो startup है, but education wise they are CA, CS, lawyer and all. I was like, up to you, आप कर लो, कोई problem नहीं है. So after a month that client called me कि हर्षल भाई आप आओ, आपके साथ ही स्टार्ट करना है. मैंने बोला क्या हुआ वहां पर? तो ये सेड कि उन्होंने स्टार्ट तो कर दिया था, पर उनको ही नहीं पता था उनको करना क्या है. सो अगर आपका स्कोप ऑफ वर्क डिफाइंड नहीं है पहले से, तो दो चैलेंज आएगी. या तो आप कुछ भी काम कर रहे हो, या तो क्लाइंट जैसे आपको करा रहा है वैसा आप कर रहे हो. सो आप तब मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट नहीं हो. अगर क्लाइंट आपको करा रहा है वैसे कर रहे हो, तो यू आर जस्ट द एम्प्लॉय. So first thing, they need to clear their scope of work, and then they can start working for their own company.
Yeah, having personal clarity matters a lot,
True.
be it in any service business, right? But at the same time, if I talk about consulting, right, not only SME, general consulting, even the big fours, big threes, one common point I have noticed is work-life balance, right? I have seen people working very late hours, and there's no proper work-life balance, if I must say, right? How has your experience been like in when I talk about work-life balance?
So it depends on person to person, to be honest. So I'm kind of a workaholic person. That is why like I start quite early, around 7:38, and my day get ends around 10, 11.
Okay.
But my most of the consultant get free by 6:30, late by late 7. So because I'm workaholic, I work on my learning as well. It is not just for the client. I keep like experimenting new things, learn about the new industries and how market is working. So that is why like my work life balance is not so good, to be honest. But if you ask my any of the consultant, they will say that our work life balance is very much good, probably the best in any industry.
That's there. Like it's up to your personal
True,
preference,
true.
right? So, like Herschel, if I talk from business advices, you have interacted with over 700 plus businesses. I am pretty sure you have some wisdom to share. So, if I say, what is the most important thing a business owner should focus on? What would you say?
ROI any given day.
ROI, that's the main thing.
Because if you ask any business owner, we have asked to business owner who are having like listed company carrying turnover more than 400, 500 cr as well, and they are not aware about their ROI. They are just aware about their profitability, how much they get after end of the financial year. But if I ask about the ROI each year, they are clueless.
So that's something people
True.
should focus on. Okay. What is the best financial advice you've ever received?
So many, but the one thing I really work upon, okay, whatever you are making, you need to reinvest in your business at least 60% of your earning.
Okay.
So whatever I'm making, I'm reinvesting in my business, or I keep exploring new businesses.
Why is that? Like, is that a 60% benchmark something?
So most of the time, what we do, like we invest in different
Assets, yeah.
assets, then shares and mutual funds. So for example, let's say you are reinvesting in your business only, so you know where your money is actually going. In other thing, you are just clueless. You are just reading through the reports. But in your business, you actually know कि आपका पैसा कहाँ पर कितना लग रहा है.
Yeah.
Right? Remaining money you will spend it in different expenses or investment that is also required, because हो सकता है आप अपने बिजनेस में उससे ज्यादा करोगे तो इट इज अगेन अलार्मिंग. So 60% करना चाहिए, that is quite good. And if I talk about my ROI, whatever amount I am investing in my business, so it is more than 50%.
Okay, that's
So
amazing.
because I know my ROI is good, so why not to invest in own business
Yourself,
instead of
yeah.
in someone else's business?
Yeah, even you have your own control that
True.
like if some things are going wrong, you can manage
Pull out,
finances
yes.
accordingly. That's great. If I talk about what is the worst financial mistake you've made, what would you say to that?
It was like in my early stage when I was in Dubai. So just for the sake of portfolio, I took one order which was from one of the government entity. Profit margins were negligible.
Okay.
But if I talk about the ROI, it was 0% ROI.
Okay.
So that was the worst decision I can say. And उसमें भी अगर मैं genuine बोलूँ in terms of ROI, so it was negative.
Okay.
Because we got the payment after 9 months.
Okay.
So if I add interest part, so it was loss making transaction.
It's sort of like burning.
हाँ.
Okay. So, Harshal, if I ask you, having interacted with so many businesses, if someone wants to start a business today, what industry or what business should they start?
It is very person to person. It can be different answer. Like recently, as I said, we in fact help companies to define कि through business start करोगे. So one of the person was carrying the background of M-Farm and wanted to invest quite huge amount. They were ready to invest in like 100 of CRs as well. So I felt कि pharmacy का experience है and education है तो we can get into the pharmacy industry. तो she said नहीं pharmacy में नहीं जाना है मुझे because that is not my area of interest. So बहुत vary करता है. I have seen those who are carrying the engineering background. They are into FMCG. Yeah. And there is one client who is having the mechanical background. He is into LED wall manufacturing. So that is again electronics. Yeah. So वो बहुत ज़्यादा personalized सवाल है या I can say कि person to person answer vary कर सकता है. But yes, I always feel manufacturing industry is one of the industry which will be evergreen. Depending on the again manufacturing में आप क्या manufacture कर रहे हो.
So that's a good trade. Even I feel like manufacturing is very much a industry where you can automate things and like you can remove yourself from the daily operations.
And apart from that, I would say कि आप जो भी business कर रहे हो या जो करने का plan कर रहे हो उसमें रिपीट बिजनेस के चांसेस कितने हैं वो सबसे पहला पॉइंट देखना चाहिए. इफ आई से आज मैं बिजनेस में हूँ इनटू द बिजनेस कंसल्टिंग, सो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे उसका इंस्पिरेशन मिला था मुझे मेरे पापा से. ही वाज इनटू द नॉट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ऑफ फैंस एंड गीजर्स. सो इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द लाइफ ऑफ एनी फैन और गीजर, it is like 5, 10, 15 years. Yeah. Right? तो repeat business की probability as an end user, it is very less. True. आज आपने अपने घर में लगा दिया 10 साल तक आप रिपेयर करा के चला सकते हो आराम से या उससे ज्यादा, बट उससे कम नहीं. राइट? तो आप जो भी बिजनेस कर रहे हो अगर उसका रिपीट बिजनेस 60-70% से कम है तो वो आज नहीं तो कल बॉटल नेक बन सकता है. लेट्स से आज आपका बिजनेस 50 करोड़ पे आप नए क्लाइंट से लिया है, नेक्स्ट ईयर 50 करोड़ के कस्टमर कहाँ से लाओगे? You need to get the support from your existing client.
That's true. That that is a very important factor and a lot of people tend to ignore it.
True.
When like choosing industry. Apart from that, I just read there's a statistic that 80% of businesses fail in the first 4 years of functioning, right? Being someone who helps business find their problems or mistakes, what is the most common mistake you see business owners making?
So, people start businesses like playing a gamble. Like आज आपने business करना start किया, in first few months or within first year you started making loss. सो आप हमारे गुजराती में एक लाइक मुहावरा है कि हारेलो जुगारी बमणू रमे, right? So business owners are also doing the same mistake when they are already making loss. So they start taking loans and loans with high interest rates, probably 18-20%, and that is not CC. They are taking actually term loan.
Okay.
So I can say about one of our client. जब हमने उनका कंसल्टिंग स्टार्ट किया तो उनकी टर्म लोन वाज नियरली 10 CR और विद द इंटरेस्ट रेट ऑफ 18%. सो उसका अगर EMI की मैं बात करूं तो जितना वो हर महीने कमा नहीं रहे थे, प्रॉफिट नहीं कर रहे थे, उससे ज्यादा EMI भर रहे थे. यानी एवरी मंथ ही वाज एक्चुअली लूजिंग कैपिटल, जो उनको समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा था कि आप कमाओ ना कमाओ, बैंक को तो इतना वापस देना है, यानी आपका उतना कैपिटल गायब हो गया. सो लोन पे बिजनेस करना चाहिए, बट विद द राइट लोन. कोई भी लोन से आप लोन मार्केट में जो लोन बेच रहे हैं, they are just worried about their profitability, so they will probably sell you the wrong product. But you need to understand कि 18% की लोन लेकर आप बिजनेस कैसे चला सकते हो.
तो understanding financials is very important.
True.
So apart from that, Harshal, if I say as a business owner, what is the biggest challenge you face and how do you overcome that?
Biggest challenge in my early days was the account receivable. That is the biggest challenge in most of the industry, right? So as a service industry, my pain area was like we fall into the GST with 18%, right? हम सर्विस भी दे रहे हैं, क्लाइंट का पेमेंट नहीं आ रहा है, बिल रेज कर दिया है, GST भी हम भर रहे हैं, यानी सर्विस भी दे रहे हैं और रुपए भी सामने से दे रहे हैं. And I'm very bad at recovering money. So अगर मेरे अकाउंट में से किसी ने कॉल किया कि पेमेंट दे दो, वहां से क्लाइंट जनरली यही बोलता है कि हर्षल भाई जोड़ा बात करी लीस, राइट? एंड वो भी अकाउंटेंट भी रख देता था ऐसा सुनने पे. एंड as I said, I'm bad in recovering payment. So what we did, we started with the PDCs के पूरे साल की PDC ले लेंगे and will not ask the client के PDC हमें deposit करना है कि नहीं. Now we have very proper system. Earlier we used to have 12 invoices for entire year. Now we have only 2 invoice.
Okay.
So GST भी हमने साथ में एक साथ 6 महीने का ले लिया, यानी GST हमें अपने जेब से अब डालना बंद कर दिया हमने. सेकेंड, PDC आ गया है तो ऑब्वियसली वी नीड नॉट टू आस्क आवर क्लाइंट के पेमेंट आप कर रहे हो या नहीं कर रहे हो. वी डिपोजिट विदाउट आस्किंग द क्लाइंट, एंड टिल नाउ वी आर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ एक भी चेक किसी भी क्लाइंट का बाउंस नहीं हुआ है.
Apart from that, if I talk from a networking standpoint, right, being in B2B, and that too in service, reference business, I think, is the best business that you would be getting, right? And networking plays a very big important role in that. How do you see networking and how has it helped you?
So like networking can play a good role in your success if you take it or if you invest your time in proper way, if you utilize it in a right manner. So I'm part of quite networking forum as well, and apart from that I network through LinkedIn and other platforms as well. So in my initial days I got like around 40 to 50% business through different way of networking. Be it like LinkedIn, through our client network as well. So right now I can say like without any efforts we are getting at least 4 to 5 new projects every month through our existing client only.
Okay, that's amazing, right? So this has been great, and before I conclude it, like just 2 questions. Is there any advice you would like to give to aspiring management consultants?
So I would say like nowadays what I have seen, people are more inclined towards AI and not towards the actual learning. Like my biggest learning came through different books. I still prefer to read at least 2 or 3 books in a month.
Okay.
So from there I learn quite new things, because where I can actually get the experience of other person. Through AI you cannot learn this thing. Through AI you are just focusing on your pain area, Probably, let's say if I have some problem, I'll go on any AI platform, and I'll try to get the outcome, but that is not the right learning, right? So through books you can probably achieve a lot of things, because that person who have written XYZ book, and if it is like bestseller in the market, or if that is having quite good reader base, so that experience matters a lot. And so recently I'm reading a book of one of the Pune based author. So उसने भी अपनी बिजनेस जर्नी बताई, एंड वहाँ से ही वाई के बारे में मुझे और एक ज़्यादा चीज़ पता चली कि यू नीड टू हैव 6 वाई का आंसर.
Okay.
It is not only one why. If I ask you, like, what is the why for your business, why you have started this business, your first answer will be money or profitability, XYZ. That should not be the answer. So when you dip down to 6 why, you will get the actual answer. So this sort of things you can get through different books only, through someone's personal experience only.
What is this book?
I'll give you the book. It's almost completed, so I'll give you the book. It is it's the owner of BNI franchisee Pune.
Okay.
And he gifted me that book. So I really liked that book. I finished that book in just 2 days.
Okay. So apart from that, what are the top books you've read?
Ikigai. Then my favorite is always Ikigai, because that again gave me why.
The purpose. Yeah.
Purpose. Why. So I'm more inclined towards like purpose-driven book.
Self-help.
Self-help.
You know, I've personally tried to read a lot of books, but somehow there is this hindrance that I'm getting. But still, I try till today. That's why I've started this, trying to learn people one by one at a time. So anyways, it's great to know, like, books have been helping you a lot, and I'll keep my efforts going on. Harshal, last question. With everything you know today, like, all the experiences and learnings, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Which somehow I am unable to do. So obviously, I would say that the biggest thing one need to focus is like work-life balance.
Focus on that.
True.
I've heard this so many times from so many people that I have started to, like, really focusing on it and living more with family and friends than just focusing on work a lot, right? So thank you so much, Harshal. And if there's something you want to highlight or discuss, because I got very good answers for all the questions I had, anything you would like to discuss?
Like, when we take any project, right, as a management consultant, we work on 10 parameters of the business, vital parameters of the business. So if someone is probably not interested towards taking services for any consultant, but one need to work on this 10 parameters. If they work on this 10 parameters, probably they will improve their business, which is sales, repeat business, cash flow, ROI, turnover to investment ratio. So I've seen with many of the manufacturers, their turnover is, let's say, 6 CR, 8 CR, and their investment is 4 CR, 5 CR. So what kind of business they are doing? If they are not having 5x turnover than their investment, so they are in a wrong direction. Then professionalism, then loans, what kind of loans they are having. If it is not the right loan, then they need to restructure it. Then software, how much they are into the software. It is not always you need to have ERP, CRM, something like that, but your small thing can help you. For example, biometric is one of these tools that they can use it for their staff, right? Yeah. Then software for accounting. So how much you can automate your business, that is also important. So these are the 10 parameters on which, if they work, so they will build the right business. Amazing. That's really important, like, for people to focus on these things, and I will definitely have a look into those. Any closing remarks from your end? So I believe in one thing. The way you do one thing, the way you do everything.
Okay.
So that is why I always prefer to be very disciplined. So if I'm disciplined in my business or in personal life, so it will impact me everywhere.
Okay.
So that helped me to like get a quite good space in the market because of my discipline,
Mm,
and I believe that will help every business owner to get the right space in their business, even if it is very like highly competitive market as well.
that's very wise for you to say. Thank you so much, Harshal, for
Thank you,
doing
Dhruvin.
this, and I would love to have you back someday and discuss more.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It was nice talking to you today.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much.